everyone, welcome to Lime Life and True Beauty with Biffy Ipple. I'm excited for this recipe. It's a yummy one for dinner called Spiced Shepherd's Pie. Let me tell you what you need for it. The recipe actually calls for sweet potatoes, but the store was out, so I used 6 or 7 potatoes. You're gonna need coconut cream, few limes, some salt to flavor stuff, and you're gonna use ground ginger, but I prefer to use this tube ginger. I just like the taste of ginger and I think it tastes better that way. Some olive oil. You'll need some garlic as well, that's minced. Some carrots that you'll need to grate. Some red wine vinegar. Oh, my favorite, coconut aminos. Cinnamon. Turmeric. Some beef broth, and you can add some riced cauliflower in there if you'd like to. And finally, some ground beef. So of course the first step is to peel the potatoes. Check out my husband's mad skills.
What's the matter? Sorry.
Alright, so I'm just back with you all after the potatoes have been boiled and cut, and then the meat has been cooking for a while. So go ahead and finish up cooking your meat. And go ahead and put those potatoes in a rough mash. So again, the recipe calls for sweet potatoes, but the store was out unfortunately, which was a total bummer because I love this recipe with sweet potatoes. But it's okay, it still tasted really well. This is called Spiced Shepherd's Pie because, of course, of all of the spices that it has in it. You can definitely taste how delicious it is with the turmeric, the red wine, the cinnamon. All of that mixed together makes just a really delicious, flavorful meal. As you all can see, I'm putting the meat aside in a separate bowl and I'm reheating the pan that the meat was cooked in because you can use a little bit of the grease from it for the other recipe ingredients. Like what you're gonna do now is you'll cook the garlic and you'll also add in the grated carrots and let them cook in for a few minutes. So also for this recipe, you can also at this time add some onions. However, I do not like onions, so I usually don't cook with them, but you would usually be cooking the onions with the garlic and the carrots at the same time. So this meal is so delicious, it's just got a few steps to it, so it just takes a lot of practice or memorizing or keeping the recipe up. But while you have the garlic and the carrots cooking, you're gonna go ahead and take that rough mash of the potatoes. You'll take out about a 1/4 cup and 2 tablespoons, and you're gonna set that aside for later. And now what you'll do is you'll go ahead and put in that cooked meat back into the mix with the carrots and the garlic. And then we're gonna go ahead and add all of the spices in there. So pour in some red wine vinegar, and then you'll put in some coconut aminos and some ginger. Then go ahead and add a pinch of salt and the cinnamon, and then last but not least the turmeric. And I'm telling you all that this combination is so delicious. Go ahead and mix it together. This is going to be the filling of your shepherd's pie. So after you mix everything around, then you'll go ahead and add in, if you chose to use it, the riced cauliflower. Sometimes people use this in the recipe, sometimes they don't. I actually got this recipe off of an AIP website, which is a very strict paleo diet. We were on the AIP for a little while, and I really had to find very creative recipes since it is an extremely limited diet. And I ended up stumbling upon this Spiced Shepherd's Pie, and it is so delicious, and I love it so much. So again, this recipe isn't hard to make, it's got a lot of steps to it, so you just have to take some patience. So for example, the next step is we have to make the potato top more smooth. So you're gonna add some ginger, and then you're gonna add the potatoes that you didn't set aside into the blender. My blender was a little bit too small for this, so I had to do it in different segments. But after you add as much potatoes as you can get into the blender, you're also gonna put in some limes. There's my crusher that my brother and sister-in-law got for me. I love it so much. Get amazing in-laws like I have. So after you get all of the juice out of the lime or lemon, then you're gonna go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of salt. And now you're ready to put on the top to blend and mix it all together. So for some reason, this process is very therapeutic for me. I love to watch things blend in a blender. I don't know if I'm crazy or if anyone else has that same sort of enjoyment like I do, but it's really fun to use a blender when I'm cooking. What was really nice about this blender is it was the perfect size because all of the potatoes that I already blended went down to the bottom so that I could just add the rest of the potatoes that were a rough mash, and I didn't have to keep taking in and out different potatoes from the blender. I could just let them blend and go down and then add some more when that blending process was done. All right, everyone, we've got one more round of blending the potato mixture. Again, this is going to be the top of your shepherd's pie. So it's really good to blend it as well as you can because it'll be so soft and smooth. And because you have such a spiced, flavorful filling on the bottom, it just really adds and complements to that. Okay, now go ahead and add a 1/4 cup of the coconut cream and then blend all of that together. Now that we're done with the topping for the shepherd's pie, go ahead and put it back into a bowl. And now what we're gonna need to do is take that mash that you set aside, and that's going to be a thickener for your meat filling. Add in about 1.5 to 2 cups of the beef broth, and then go ahead and blend it all together. Now, remember that this is an AIP recipe, so it's for a specific diet. I'm sure you can probably use any different kind of thickener if you would prefer that. This is just what you have to do to be creative for this recipe for the AIP diet. Go ahead and add the thickener to your meat filling and mix it around. All right, we're at the home stretch. Go ahead and set the oven to 400 degrees and get a baking dish and put the meat filling in it first. My baking dish was a little bit too small because I used 2 pounds of meat instead of 1.5, but that's okay. We just had a thicker shepherd's pie. And then go ahead and spread the potato topping on top of it, nice and evenly as you can. After you spread it around evenly, go ahead and put it in the oven for about 20 to 30 minutes. You're going to want to look for a crisp golden brown color on the top, and that's when you'll know when it's done. All right, I want to thank you all for tuning in and watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click the like and subscribe button. And you can also follow me on my other social media platforms. I have an Instagram and I have a Facebook. I will put the information below in the comments so you know how to find me. All my love, joy, peace, and abundance to you. Take care.